during the few moments that we have left, we want to have just an off-the-cuff chat between you and me, us. We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. We all agree tonight, all the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, are you black, brown, red, or yellow? A so-called Negro. You are
we must get closer to this excellence. But we world that you bring evidence by. Inside your mind, don't let it wither and die. You find it left just getting high to the sky. So can they?
And you're listening to Message to the Grassroots on KEXU 96.1 FM LP, Poor People's Revolutionary Radio and TV. I'm your post scholar, Biz Molotov, aka the Voodoo Child, coming at you from deep East Oakland, indigenous witching territory. Welcome to Message to the Grassroots, everyone. Genocidal practices against black bodies continue to happen, not just here in Americlan, but internationally as well, have taken their toll again. We're talking about, one, the fatal shooting of Stephen Clark on Sunday night in the state capital, Sacramento. Stephen, a young black man, was in his grandmother's backyard trying to get into the house when two Sacramento police officers let loose a fuselage of 20 bullets, killing him. Stephen Clark was armed with no more than his cell phone. We'll have more on this as more information becomes available, so stay tuned. Black Lives Matter Sacramento responded today by shutting down the I-5 freeway and are presently in downtown and at the state building right now, demanding justice for Stephen Clark and the arrest of these murderous Ku Klux Klan. Again, stay tuned for that. Next, we have the assassination of Marielle Franco in Brazil. A lesbian mother with a 19-year-old daughter, described by those who knew her as fiercely vocal against police terror. On March 14, Marielle Franco, a 38-year-old activist in the Brazilian black movement, was murdered, having been shot 5 times at Rio de Janeiro's downtown when coming back from a public event about black women's exclusion from the political system. Marielle was a black lesbian and Favelada city councilwoman fiercely vocal against police terror. Days before her killing, she denounced on Twitter the disappearance of two youth kidnapped by the police in the neighboring favela Acari. She was also leading the Human Rights Commission to monitor police and military abuse during the military interdiction decreed by President Michel Temer. Marielle and her driver, Anderson Gomez, political assassinations mobilized thousands of social activists in Brazil and around the world. The United Nations released a statement saying, quote, she was one of the leading voices in defense of human rights in the city, developing a political platform related to the fight against racism and gender inequalities and the elimination of violence, especially in the poorest communities of Rio de Janeiro, unquote. Black activist Marcel Decate wrote in her social media, the killing of Amari is a message to all black bodies that fight for rights in the favela. The message was for us. The pain is unbearable because they cruelly silenced the voice of one of us, unquote. Imagine a place where in peacetime 160 black individuals are murdered every day. Imagine a country where 12 civilians are legally killed by the police on a daily basis. Black bodies lying in the streets of our favela alleys are not newsworthy. In 2016, the police killed 4,224 civilians. It was 25% more than the killings registered for 2015, and just part of the 21,000 murders by the police in Brazil between 2009 and 2016. The profile of the victims, 99% are men, 82% are youth between 15 and 29 years old, and 76 are black. Marielle dared to transgress the spatial racial order of Brazilian society. She was one of the very few black women occupying elected positions in a country in which they are virtually absent from the spheres of political and economic power, despite the fact that blacks make up half of the population. According to Revista Forum, black women are underrepresented in the Brazilian National Parliament, where they are 11 out of 513 congresspersons in the lower house and 1 out of 81 in the Senate. This reflects their structural position in the larger society as well. Data from the Brazilian government itself and UN Women indicates that black women are 61% of domestic workers. They earn 58% of white women's income. They are 68% of the female prison population. And while white women's homicide rate decreased 9% from 2003 to 2013, the victimization of black women increased to 54%. Finally, black women are 0.04% of the CEOs in Brazil's larger companies. During Marielle and Anderson's funeral, grieving and despair black activists reaffirmed their commitment to a radical struggle to redefine democracy and to redefine the terms of black participation in the nation. The message was that we will not be silent. They would have to kill all of us. We are all Marielle. Our hearts and minds go out tonight to Marielle Franco, her 19-year-old daughter, and the people of the favelas. All power to the people of the favelas. Long live Marielle Franco. And you've been listening to Message to Grassroots on KEXU 91.6 FM LP, Poor People's Revolutionary Radio and TV. All power to the people.